Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's yours truly, Joe Dupree from 100 BLK, the Black Station, broadcasting live from sunny. When I say sunny, it is sunny Orlando, Florida, along with my brother from another mother. You know, you see him right there. He's New York Mets down from his head to his toes clean. Brother Fatim from the Open Line Online, WBLS 1075 in New York City. And our sister, yes, from another mister, the life strategist, the art therapist, the speaker, the author, Sister Jackson's in the building. Family, we back on the scene. It's hashtag two feet. What the?
Oh God!
I was, I was up.
What the?
I was up
What?
late last. I was up late last night.
What you was doing?
You need to ask somebody.
Oh,
No, this is for my Jello. What y'all thinking? This is for my Jello. This is for my Jello. I nicknamed this. You know, this is called Ready Whip. I nicknamed. Watch what somebody gonna steal this. That's why I should copyright this sucker.
So
I
don't
call
say
it-
it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yep.
Don't
don't
say
say
it.
it.
I'm
You
gonna get it.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. We
Okay.
don't need to hear it. Don't say it. Just wait
I'm
till
gonna
you
copyright that
copyright it.
sucker. Yeah.
All right. Good morning, family. Good morning. I see everybody logging in
What happened to
all
y'all
over the
yesterday?
place.
Wait. What happened to y'all? I'm sitting here at 9:00 Eastern time. I'm looking for Jackson Joe. I'm ready. I'm bushy tail.
Lies.
I had a suit on yesterday.
Lies.
I had a suit and I had a brim.
Lies.
I even had my red
Lies.
bottoms on, and I'm like, I didn't see y'all. Y'all okay?
Lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Okay.
We
Lies.
fine. We fine. We doing A-okay over here in this camp. Hopefully everything is A-okay in your camp. It is
You don't
7 minutes,
sound so
family.
stuffy.
Say what?
I say he don't sound so stuffy anymore.
No,
Yeah, he
no,
back.
no.
He
Now,
back.
I'm back. I'm done with these damn COVID tests. Get
Oh,
that
my God.
out of here,
That's right.
And it's in the news today, COVID, and it got different strains. So it's crazy. I just got over COVID. I could pick up another damn strain of the damn COVID. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, to everybody that's in the chat, good morning, good morning, good morning. I see everybody jumping on. No, we were not on yesterday. Had some things we had to do. Hopefully you enjoyed the
Yeah.
best of the rewind. Yeah, folks had things to do, people to
Yeah.
see, and places to go. So hopefully you enjoyed that
Things to
hashtag
get
truth be
into.
told, things to get into.
All right.
So hopefully you enjoyed the rewind from hashtag truth be told. Of course, still in the news. Everybody's talking about now that Biden's not in the race. Now we've got Vice President Kamala Harris running. And things are getting a little bit complicated, especially with the propaganda machine. But we're here to give truth to all these crazy rumors and misnomers out there. First of all, the lady is highly qualified. Second of all, if you put all the qualifications from the former president and the vice president together, they still don't match up to the resume of Kamala Harris. The truth about the matter is, y'all have the fear of a black woman running something. That's just the truth of it. That's the truth of the matter. I'm not gonna, as somebody once said on this show, I'm not gonna pussyfoot around. Y'all have a serious fear of a black woman being in charge because the stereotype of a black woman is she is an angry woman. She cannot do certain things. She is ratchet. She is hood. She is this. She is that. No, we have black women that are highly sophisticated, well educated, and doing wonderful big things. And Kamala Harris is going to prove it to you by being the first African American woman or woman of color who winds up being the president of the United States of America. And I said what I said.
And
Good morning.
that's great, Joe. And you know what's so ironic with it all? People were complaining so much. Biden needs to take a seat. Biden needs to sit down. He needs to lay down. And now that he actually sat down, laid down, took a seat, now people are starting to say what type of president drops out. And, so it's kind of like you can't please folks. That's why you got to do what is best for you and your family and your house.
Exactly. And let me just say this. First of all, good morning again to everybody on the serious note, because there's a lot of stuff that we have to talk about. Now, Kamala hit the ground running. I said it the other day that we commend the 44,000 women Sunday night on that Zoom call. I wasn't supposed to be in it, but of course, I know some of the movers and shakers and the females, so they asked me to kind of join in, but I joined in, and then, and it was kind of hard to get in and out. If you got in, and you stayed in. You understand? And then when I got out, that was it. And then Monday night, Roland Martin, my man Michael Blake, which I said I was going to call yesterday. I didn't call brother Michael Blake. I met him during the Obama administration. They put out a call Monday night, and they had 20 plus thousand black men in there, and they pledged. And the money that the Kamala Harris campaign has garnered within the 36 hours was record breaking. The enthusiasm is here. See, the point I'm trying to say is, I know this is a black woman. The bottom line is Joe Biden could not articulate. I just listened to Vice President Kamala Harris yesterday when she kind of kicked off our campaign. And remember, she does have the commitment for the delegates. She has enough delegates to become the Democratic nominee. So that's a good thing, which they're going to have to go through that process. But you just started to hear her articulate the message. That's what we were missing. And I kept saying that we were missing this and missing that. And that's what the Republicans love. And they love that. Donald Trump and them, I'm not going to sit there and say they're running scared. It's not about running scared. It's just that now you got to stand up on your principles and platform. You don't have any principles and platform. Project 2025 ain't going to go nowhere because we're not rolling back the clock to 1940 plus. We're not doing that. So now we got somebody that can articulate and debate and get the message out. Now we can follow and also and implement and talk about the message, but we got a lot of work to do, folks. We got a lot of work to do going forward. We got to get into the swing states. We got to knock on doors. We got to get people registered. It's not a black thing. It's not only a black thing. That's the base. Black women are the base of the Democratic Party. Let's give it to the women. They are the base. We men got to do what we got to do. We got to get our ego out of we got to get our heads out of our backside and get behind this woman, because if we want to move America in the way that it has been moving, then we got to get behind this Democratic ticket. It's not about being a Democrat now. It's about, as Joe said, doing the right thing.
That's right. And I have a question. I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't know if it's true. I haven't fact checked as yet, but I saw something on social media yesterday, and it said that Trump is refusing to debate Kamala. Do you know if that's true?
I heard that he said he wants to debate her.
That is absolutely not true. So
Yeah,
so that's something I want to bring up. As we navigate these shark invested waters of this election season, and they are shark and trash invested, you're going to have to vet all the information that you see out there.
That's right.
People are putting information out there on top of information on top of information, which is absolutely not in any shape, form, or fashion credible or true. Because right now, what they want to do is rattle folks. They understand that most folks do, especially folks of color, black and brown folks, we quick to grab something and run with it. We running. We don't vet it. We run with it. You put it out there, we run with it. And they are banking on that. That's why the Russian bots did that heavily the first time that Trump ran for office against Hillary Clinton. They wanted to make sure that they targeted black and brown communities to make us skeptical. Should we even go vote for this individual because this person is not for us? That is malarkey and bullcrap. Be careful what they're putting out there. Here's what made me laugh. They had the mitigated gall and audacity to put out there a picture of J.D. Vance when he was in the Marine Corps. Then they turned around and had a side-by-side picture of Kamala Harris when she was with Montel, the talk show host. Montel, what's Montel's last name?
Montel Williams.
Oh, Williams.
Okay. Yeah. But what people did not put on there is, since you want to put a picture of a guy in the Marine Corps, you should have put a picture of Montel Williams up there, because he was a naval intelligence officer in the United States Navy. So stop with the malarkey. Stop trying to make it seem like Kamala loosey-goosey and all this stuff. Hold it. Half of y'all out there are loosey-goosey. So
That's
stop
right.
that. Stop that. Stop that. Vet the information and ask yourself, who would you rather have in the White House speaking for you? Would you rather have Donald Trump speaking for you, or would you rather have Kamala Harris? That's what it comes down to. I'm going to give it back to you, Jack, but I just want to get this out. Y'all got to get this. Y'all got to understand this. Do you want, since y'all want to talk about folk, and y'all bad, see, y'all don't know. I've been gone and Whoo, y'all really don't want the Jordans coming back. Y'all done talked about, folks. But let me ask you this. So let me understand this. You want a baby daddy with three baby mamas, 30 some odd felons, known to not pay his bills, known to lie, known to lie, continuously lie. Known to say, I'm going to say something to bring unity, harmony. Mid speech turns around and starts going back to the same BS and malarkey that he always does. You've got to say to yourself, A or B. Is that the person you want in the White House representing you, or do you want Kamala Harris, who I haven't called Kamala lying? Kamala is a stand-up woman, stands up on principle. She's not perfect. See, and here's the crazy thing. Y'all want Kamala to be perfect, but y'all excuse all this malarkey with Trump. Make your minds up. See, because I'm in a new place. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't come at me and tell me, Kamala this, Kamala that. Well, tell me, look at Trump. Trump has a resume of lies. Trump has a resume of swindling folks. Trump has a resume of not doing the right thing. And that's what you want in the White House? Shame on you. Shame on you. Sister Jackson, the floor is yours.
That's right. It's funny watching Fatin eat that Jell-O. I'm like, Fatin is either stuck at 10 years old or he's 100 years old. It's one or the other.
Watch this. He eating it on his own now.
Yeah. Fatin, great. I love Fatin. But yeah, I want to go in the chat to where did it go? Nakia's comment. She said she gonna hurt his feelings. And sis, that is so true. She is gonna chew him up and spit him out. So I cannot wait to see that debate. But you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna try to find a way to turncoat, right? So he's gonna want to make any policy or any decision that she's ever made that appears to be against her own people. He's going to try to spotlight, highlight, twist, contort it to then try to make us feel like, oh, no, she is against us, So he's going to try to pull any skeleton out the closet. He's going to pull out any person that she prosecuted that, might have been wrongfully, whatever. He's going to try to find a way to turn us against her.
So yeah. I got this, and I'm going to flip it over to Brother Fatim. I have a challenge to all my Trumpsters out there, because I got some Trumpsters that log in on here. I need y'all to do this. I'm going to give y'all something real simple. Give me 5 things, 5 things that Donald Trump has done for the Black and brown community. 5 good things that Donald Trump has done for the Black and brown community. If you can put that in the chat, my Trumpster friends, I will have a civil conversation. You can't do it because he hadn't done it.
So you can keep us all up here, Joe, because the reason why I ate my Jell-O while you were saying it, because I'm not doing that no more. I don't need to sell this no more. I'm not wasting words on this. I'm not. We don't, as a group here, we are 3 individuals and we're not all unison and think monolithic. I'm not selling this to the people. We talked about this, what the problem was with the Democratic Party when Joe Biden was the candidate. Now we have another candidate. I don't have to prove crap to the Trump people. I got to beat Trump people. Give a damn about them right now. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need to do this and go on this rant. And it's hard to go on this rant as we talk about uplifting a Black woman like VP Harris. And I'll let Joe set this up. But it's hard because Joe's the captain of the ship. But it's hard to hold back tears this morning to what happened in Springfield, Illinois. So
hey, can you I need you to send that video because you didn't send it. I didn't see it. Please send it.
I'll resend it to you because what happened to this young lady named Massey, enough is enough. This type of police brutality, I don't give a damn if this cop is sitting behind in jail today. What he did to that woman, just listen to the father.
Yes.
Just listening to the father, what they've done. Joe's a law enforcement officer. Your husband, Jax, is a law enforcement officer. I have friends that are law enforcement officers, but right now, even though I got anger. I have anger. That could not be me. That could not be me because y'all couldn't stop me. Y'all couldn't stop me. My words, I said this to somebody yesterday. I would not be grabbing a Bible. I would not be saying kumbaya, and I'm not be saying I forgive. This motherfucker gotta pay. He has to pay for shooting that Black woman in the face. For my daughter to call me and be almost in tears yesterday. I called with my daughter on the phone in a conference call with the attorney Crump yesterday. because this is horrific. And I'm glad he's representing the family.
That's right.
I'll send you that video in a minute, Joe. But it's horrific. So for us to be sitting up here, yes, Kamala Harris, we got a job to do. Even she spoke out. The Justice Department is involved in this. Here we go again. Over and over and over and over, we talk about this, and over and over and over, it keeps happening. I know what it takes. I'm not going to say what it's going to take, but the only way it's going to stop is it's going to be an eye for an eye. And I hate to say something like that. I hate to say something like that because there's good officers out there. There's good men and women that wear that uniform. But for today, there should be police unions across the country. They won't do it. There should be good police officers across the country speaking out against that damn shooting that took place in Illinois for what they did for that black woman. And then to lie, to say she had a pot of hot water when she put her hands up, she had mittens in her hand. It is a damn shame, and I don't want to hear it. And that's why I don't want to waste time on our sister Kamala Harris, because we got a job to do. But if you put Trump in the White House, that will continue unchecked and unbalanced. Well, I'm sorry to get emotional, but that woman should be alive today, man. She's the one that called the damn police, and she was shot and killed by the police.
Well, brother Fatim, once again, and look, my heart's, my prayers, my condolences goes out to the Massey family. I know that you're close to this through Attorney Trump, and you knowing him and the things that he has done with Brother Sharpton. I'm just gonna be real crystal clear with this. I done told y'all this, and y'all gonna either catch it or you're not gonna catch it. They are bad people wearing all kind of good uniforms all over the place. That's just the truth. I say that constantly on this show. Just because you have on an honorable uniform doesn't mean that you're an honorable person. Doesn't mean that you're a good person. We just lost Jax. Hopefully she'll be back. Doesn't mean you're a good person, Brother Fatim. At the end of the day, being good is a lifestyle. You know, and evil folks put on priest uniforms, policeman uniforms, doctors and nurses uniforms, teachers uniforms. I mean, people who have ill intent, they put on all kind of uniforms. They put on DA uniform, judge uniform. Just because you're a judge or a prosecutor don't mean you're a good person. There are judges and prosecutors out there that are completely evil, racist, have absolutely nothing but malice in their heart. Come on, we got to stop saying because a certain person carries a certain occupation, that means that they're a good person. No, good people are good people. There are poor good people. There are good people that are black and brown good people. See, we got to stop labeling folks because of where they're at. Guess what? Just because you graduated from Harvard doesn't mean you're smart.
That's right, Joe.
Come on, Jax. The floor is yours.
You know what? And like you said, Fatim, it was so many lies. And watching that father, you know, talk about in an interview yesterday about what happened to his daughter and how he didn't even really know the details of what was going on. He heard it from, I believe it was his brother. And I mean, even with that police officer that shot that monster that shot her, he had been reassigned to a bunch of different, you know, districts or precincts or, you know, departments, a ton of them, you know. So what is the root cause behind all that? You know, he was a huge guy. He was 6'6" or something like that, you know. And it's just so unfortunate that one of our beautiful sisters, once again, in her home was gunned down. Innocent gunned down. You know, so I'm so glad that my brother is on the case. And you know, Crump will ensure that justice is served. And we as a people still need to band together and focus on the real issues and do something about it. Not just watch, not be couch potatoes, just watching and seeing what's going on, but actually become active, become engaged, and see what we can do, because it's not that far away that it could be you or one of your loved ones that could happen to. So we really need to step our game up.
Exactly. I sent it to
be about it.
And what I did is I sent it yesterday in Messenger. You cannot open it in Messenger, Joe. So when you go, I just sent it.
I got it. I got it, brother. Don't worry. I'm about as technically savvy as you are. I got it.
Right. So there's another video that you got to download. My daughter sent me, where after you see this, you don't need and folks, we don't need to watch this from the total beginning, because it's almost a 15-minute interview. You kind of like, you know, you see how it's set up, but you just might as well get to the part where they started to have the conversation in the house. I have the other video where it's slow motion, where she does and raises her hand. But let me just say this, because I went on a little rant there, and I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing because over and over this continues to happen. And what I said, I don't take back, because we can't continue to have this, sing some songs, bring some flowers, and then wait a couple of months or a year, and then it happens again. It has to stop. It has to stop. That kind of shooting. Then you shoot the woman in her face.
Yep.
Law enforcement officers are taught what? Shoot center mass. If there's a threat, what stopped you from backing up out that damn house? You wasn't cornered.
That's right.
And she said, I'm sorry. Man, I don't have no nice words for nobody right now. I'm serious. I'm sorry, because this continues to happen. I was involved in the Eleanor bumpers when it happened in New York City. You know how long ago that was? Mary Mitchell, another black woman, called the police because her daughter was having a meltdown, and they shot and killed her daughter, Mary Mitchell, on Black Solidarity Day in New York. Me and Reverend Sharpton up at that house, at that family's house. That's why I don't let people criticize Reverend Sharpton. You know why? Because he stands with these families. He stands with the families, and when the cameras go away, they're still there if they need support. But we shouldn't have to be standing with these families because their loved ones should be alive.
And you're so right, Fatin. And her dad thought that somebody else, somebody in the community just shot her. He had no idea initially that the police shot her. They tried to cover that up right from the door.
Cover it up. Cover it up. Where are the good police officers today? You want to come at Fatin for what I said? Get up, stand up, and say something. Say something as a unit, not as an individual. Say it as a unit. If you want us to back your asses and say that we shouldn't broad brush all the cops, then stand up, good cops. Where are y'all today?
So Brother Fatim, you made a very valid point. Even Sister Jax, I think, compounded that point by saying that monster. I'm not even going to give him the courtesy of calling him a law-abiding citizen who happens to be a person who took an oath to be a police officer. He was disguised as a police. See, that's the problem. Y'all got people out here in these teacher, priest disguise. You got these activists disguised as activists. They're not activists. They are evil folks with evil intentions. They are monsters. Exactly what Jax called them. And I thank you for that, Jax. Because too many times we try to give people credit for occupation. That's just what they disguise themselves as to blend in until they could do their atrocities and show their true colors. Let's show this video. Let the folks see. That is a monster. That is just a monster in a uniform. And it's really not. I'm not even going to go there.
So you said, Joe, he's a monster. Wait, hold on that video. You said he's a monster. Okay, I give you that. But there gotta be some fallout on the police department. And I'm gonna tell you why. Records show that this deputy officer charged in Sonia Massey's fatal shooting worked for 6 agencies in 4 years. If that's not a red flag.
Hold up. Fatim, you're so busy in your anger, you didn't hear Jack say that. That's what I was
but I'm just saying, but I'm coming back off what you said, even though he's a monster.
I'm backing up what Jack said.
I agree with you. I agree, but the bottom line is some of that has to fall out on the police department too.
I completely concur. Everybody needs to be held responsible. I'm one of the people who, all the time you hear me on this show, as a person who carries a badge and a gun. There needs to be psych evaluations annually.
You do say that.
I have said here long before this bullshit happened that there needs to be a list of bad actors where when they try to jump from this office, from this police station to this police jurisdiction, you can look at. I've been saying that shit. And this is the prime example of what happens when all of a sudden, and then we all get broad brushed, just like one black person steals something, they all thieves. If one black person does something crazy, they all ratchet. At the end of the day, this monster never deserved to have a uniform on. The police department needs to be held accountable for hiring somebody who had went from 6 different jurisdictions. Now they're in there. The question is, did anybody say, man, let me look at this guy's discipline records? Why does he keep jumping from place to place? Because let me tell you something about law enforcement officers. If you're a good law enforcement officer, once you find your place, you call home, you stay there.
Yeah.
You stay there. How many? Hold it, watch this. Jax, last time I checked, aren't you married to a police officer?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
How many municipalities? How many municipalities has he worked for?
One.
How many different?
One.
Most good officers get at one place and they stay there. They might at the most go to two. Say how many years?
23 years.
Thank you. Most officers at a bare minimum, either one or two places, most three. And that's just if they at a place that they're the type officer that they don't get along with their fellow officers. Because sometimes it's really not the officer. Sometimes you have officers that speak up for what's right, and the other officers turn on them. That blue wall of silence can turn on you and be like, nah, we don't want him working with us. We don't want him. He too straight in the arrow. So let's just call it what it is. Let's look at this video because this is an atrocity. Everybody should stand up. Everybody in law enforcement should stand up and say, we do not condone this. This is not the type police officers we want in the street, nor should we put these type of police officers in the street. And if you are this type of police officer, listen, you're going to get the same thing that this guy's got. He has now been charged with murder. He is now in jail. And I believe he will be convicted of murder. Let's look at the video.
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
I
Rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot!
19 shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Drop the fucking pot! Bring EMS now. We got a headshot wound to the female. Headshot wound to the female. 1078. Fuck.
He grabs the silver pot with
I was on. I'm gonna go get my kit.
grabs the
No, that's a
silver.
headshot, bitch. You're done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. God damn it.
God, fuck.
Now
I'm not taking
now we
fucking
process.
water
We
on
done
the
messed.
fucking head.
You done
Hey,
messed
look,
up.
And gun still drawn. And he said, I'll shoot you in the fucking face.
Right.
And I just sent you the other video. It may play in your messenger, Joe. This one is on TikTok, and you will hear the TikTok. If you get it to load, you will hear how the TikTok, and it shows in slow motion. So now this one you can't see in slow motion, but if you can play the next one that I just sent you, and if you get it to load,
I'll try to. Let's deal with what we just saw before I even do that. The truth about the matter is that was all wrong. Period. That was all wrong. Period. I don't care how many times you show this. I don't care how many frames you show it in. I don't care how you show it. That was wrong. Period. Family, this is not how we need to be treated by anybody. Period. I mean, sadly that we showed that. I understand your passion for team. Everybody should be passionate like that. You know, at the end of the day, that was wrong. That was we literally witnessed a murder.
That's
You
right.
literally right there witnessed a murder. A murder.
it hurts me. It hurts a lot of people. But every time I go to see, it's tough when you go and you work in this field and you go and you meet these families. I had to deal with Sean Bell's fiance when he got shot on his bachelor night, the day before he was supposed to get married. I can name over and over and over and over, not these stories that I watched on the news, the people that I got to know. The cameras don't see them when they're in their living room, or we got to go and get them out the bathroom because they're crying like they inconsolable. So I appreciate the passion, but my passion is stopping me from crying now. Because I work with these families. These are people that I talk to. Their loved ones are gone, and they're not statistics. They're not just numbers, but a lot of us become numb. And honestly, we don't know what to do because we try to be law-abiding citizens and we try to do the right thing. We try not to do things that is not righteous. But this kind of things that continue to happen over and over, and if it doesn't stop, what more do you want us to do? We can't continue to be passionate. We can't continue to have tears going down. We can't keep hitting these damn tables like this.
Mm-hmm.
It got to be some retribution here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brother Fatim, once again, and I hate to say this, once again, this is why election 2024 is so important. This is why, as you said, right now we have two candidates who are running for the highest seat in the nation, probably the most powerful seat in the world. One has already over this, has spoken out, has opened up their mouth and said, hey, this was not right. What have we heard from the other one? Crickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the mitigated gall and audacity for folks to sit in this chat room and say, you need to vote for this other person. This person has not made a statement. This person has not said a word, has not even opened up their mouth about this atrocity. Mm-hmm. What you do to the least of them, you do unto me, since folk want to quote scripture. Mm-hmm. I told you, y'all made a terrible mistake. And when I come back in studio tomorrow, y'all just don't know where I've been to. I've literally been somewhere and got some knowledge, and I'm coming back to drop it on you. Mm. This is a new day, baby. It's a new day.
That's
you don't even spit in somebody's face. I know you coming in, Jack. You don't even spit on anybody, let alone shoot a woman, a black woman in the face. Do you know what her children? I don't know if I think she has a child. I don't know what's that history, because I can't even read the story. Because when Reverend Sharpton mentioned it yesterday, I didn't see the video till my daughter called. When she called me, I sat down and I just said, here we go again. You understand? And it'll be wrong if Kamala Harris brings this family to the convention, just like Donald Trump, and rightfully so. You got firefighter that lost his life at the the Trump rally before the RNC, right? But don't say we politicize it if that happens. But I don't want to see this people's pain politicized. If it's the right thing to do, and if that's what they want, then do it. But do not do that, politicize their pain. You understand? Because this here is something that is traumatic. But Joe, you said it. And Jax, I'll let you go. Joe, there's crickets from the other side. That's why when I go hard at people in the chat, because some of the people in the chat, because most of the people in the chat act sensible. But when y'all come out here and say some of the most asinine bull crap about Donald Trump and supporting him and this, that, and the other, these are the things that we talk about. So we don't have to wait for these things to show as an example. This has always been an example for what this man represented.
Hold on. That's why I put the stop. Hold it. You can't tell me to stop doing something, bro. I done told y'all. Y'all gonna learn today, because I got time today. Y'all gonna learn today because I got time today. Stop playing politics with someone's life. Baby, politics is played with people's lives every damn day. And you got the mitigated gall to open up your mouth with that. Bro, get you some education in your life. And stop throwing stuff out there trying to look like you know something. You don't know jack. And that proves it right there.
Politics, and for the first thing to come out your damn mouth is to say, stop playing politics with someone like Joe. That goes back to when Joe said what he said on this podcast. Sometimes y'all asses need to be blocked. Because the first thing, again, I don't see his chat. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. But if that's the first thing that come out your mouth, instead of saying, my God, I feel for that family and send condolences to the family, but for you to write that shows where your mind is. And that's why you get our anger. That's why you get our anger. And you will continue to get it. Because when you do shit like that, that shows you where your head is at. I don't give a damn if you've got your freckles together and you're a black man. Because you don't act like a damn black man.
You know, that is almost like with the Whittenhouse thing that happened in, what was that? Was that Wisconsin? Come on, family. Okay. So once again, like I said, one side has spoken. One side has at least given condolences. Crickets from the other side, but that's the side you want to stand on. So you want to stand on the side with folks who say absolutely nothing when an atrocity like this happens. Yes, I just politicized it
Didn't
because
say
every
nothing.
day politics plays into everyone's life. So don't separate it when your people look like they bullshit.
Yep. And how
Because I
can you
sure don't
make?
separate it when my people look like they bullshit.
Yep. And
And
how
I
can you
said
make?
what I said.
And I agree with you, Joe. And how can you get up here and say these type of messages and then all want to preach this, that, and the other on Facebook and social media? Not one word of condolences to this family. Not one word to say this is an atrocity, this black woman being shot in the face. I don't give a damn if it was a white woman. I bet you if it was a damn dog, the world would be upset. If there would have been a dog shot in the face, the whole world would be upset. But no, you can't even say no compassion. No compassion for this family. No compassion. But you can say Joe is politicizing. Jax, go ahead, Jax, because me and Joe been throwing our testosterone all over the place. Rightfully so, though.
So I
Unmute
just saw
yourself.
a video with her dad. I don't know if you could play that. I sent it. If you could play
Hold
that,
on.
Joe.
Let me see.
Yeah. And
Let me
and
see.
also the other video, Joe, too, when it shows in slow motion that when she got shot, how she was coming with her hands up. Show your hands, drop the pot, and she got mittens in her hand. Just the mittens
Okay,
that she
hold on.
moved the pot.
And like you said, politics plays a role in all of our lives, whether we like it or not. It dictates how we move in certain ways and how things are moved against us and stacked up against us. So we have to realize it, and we have to stand on what is right and stand on truth. And also recognize that there are some wicked ass demons roaming this earth. Like you said, Joe, just because they have on a uniform or have a certain profession does not mean that they're not wicked or they're not a demon. Because we have to remember this is spiritual, you know? Okay, go ahead, Joe.
We return now to the very tragic story of a woman killed by a sheriff's deputy after she called 911 asking for help. Now, the body cam footage, we showed it to you earlier, shows the encounter between 36-year-old Sonia Massey and Deputy Sean Grayson in Springfield, Illinois. The mother of two had called 911 to report a suspected prowler outside her home earlier this month. Grayson has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. Joining us now is Sonia's father. His name is James Wilburn, along with civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, who is representing the family. Good morning to you both. I want to start with you, Mr. Wilburn, because this video that we saw earlier was heartbreaking to those of us who didn't even know Sonia. I cannot imagine what it is like for you to have known your daughter the way that you did. And I know when these stories happen, it's just another story in the news. But for you, I always say the victim was somebody's everything. So before we get into the details of the case, please tell us what she was like and what you're missing most about her. Who was she?
She was one of my 4 daughters. I don't think that looking at that tape with my old heart from before 2022, I had quadruple heart bypass surgery and I suffered from congestive heart failure. But I don't think my old heart could have taken this.
You know, I'm hearing that you were told conflicting stories. What were you told, the circumstances of this shooting?
Well, I was never told that it was a deputy-involved shooting. We were under the impression that she was killed by the intruder or some other person from the street or something, and they just went in there and found her dead body. I did not find out that the deputies killed her until my brother asked for Sonia's address, and I gave it to him. And he said, "Brother, this says deputies involved." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But we were all misled to believe that. And then there was a story that this was self-inflicted, a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Oh my goodness.
So I think the cover-up started from just right after it happened. And thank God for the body camera footage. It's probably the most horrible and heart-wrenching thing that we've ever seen in our lives. But If it were not for the body cam footage, we would not have known that this occurred.
Yes, I say thank goodness too for that body cam footage, because we in the video it clearly shows she was not approaching him with steaming hot water, number one, which is what he said at the beginning. When he was asked about the gun, clearly there was no gun. She had said to the officer, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," which seemed to set him off. What do you think she meant? What does that mean? What was going on that you think that she would say those words to him?
I think that she feared for her life. There was some premonition that she had. And it seems like he was just an emissary of Satan. And that's what caused him to do what he did. It's just unexplainable.
Yeah.
Attorney Crump, it's Vlad here. I want to ask you about the reports that Officer Grayson was now working at his 6th police department in just under 4 years. What have you learned about that? And to the point that Mr. Wilburn is making and that Gail was just talking about, what does it say to you that the first thing that we hear Officer Grayson say after he has killed Sonia is, "She was coming at me with boiling water"?
You know, it's just no justification, no matter what he tries to say. We see this video with our own eyes. And Vlad, this is one of the worst videos of a police shooting ever. I mean, he did not have to shoot her. And you see him, even though he's trying to say he wasn't going to have this boiling water get to him, he actually walks around the counter and engages to get a better shot. And that's what the state attorney's investigation found, that he actually engaged her. He could have done so many things to not shoot her in the face. He could have backed up. He could have used taser. I mean, it was the size difference. Vlad and Gail, he's over two times as big as her. She's 5'1", 110 pounds. He's like 6'5", 260 pounds. It's just senseless and god awful.
I can't.
Mr.
I can't. I can't. You know, that so much could have happened. Pepper spray. Pepper spray has a range of plenty of range. He could have pulled out. If he thought that she was going to throw some hot water on him, he could have deployed his pepper spray and literally sprayed. That spray alone would have made her drop whatever. She would have scalded herself with the water. He could have deployed his taser. There's so much. But you heard what was said. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So the demon. So when demons get called out, they do demon stuff. I digress. I digress. Jackson, unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
She sensed it, like the dad was saying. It's like she had a premonition. You know, and that's what we have to recognize when these demons are walking amongst us. It's not just in a fictional book that, you know, some people think, and it's just stories. No, this ish is real. There are demons walking amongst us. There are demons in our family. Shoot, demons jump on us sometimes and have us doing all type of craziness, you know, and coming out of the spirit and not using a spirit of discernment to understand when that demon is trying to attach himself to us. So that's why we need to stay prayed up and stay focused and be around like-minded people. Like the scripture says, how can two walk together lest they agree? So we really have to be careful who we entertain, who we let in our home, who we let touch and hug and rub all up on us, who we sleep with. We have to be careful. We're too willy-nilly and free with whatever we do, and we're not focused. You know, we have to be careful. And also we have to understand when you make that 911 call, which we should all be freely able to make that call when we feel we're in danger, but we still always continue to have to look at the flip side of it as well, because you don't know who's going to show up at your door. You know, so it's scary. It's scary, but there's a lot more good cops still than there are bad cops, but the bad cops sometimes seem to outweigh the good.
And once again, I'm going to say this. If you have, and I'm going to call a spade a spade. That's why this is our program. Kyle Rittenhouse got invited to all kind of Republican Republican conferences and rah 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 shish kebab, let's go. Man, please. I pray that at the Democratic convention that she brings up this family and says, this will not happen anymore. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. And like it, leave it or love it. Then you can jump around and say, oh, see there, they're wanting to defund the police. They anti-blue. That was not a policeman. That was a person disguised as a policeman. And she called them out clearly because you don't rebuke normal folks in the name of Jesus. When I rebuke folks, it's because they have a satanic spirit on them. Yeah, he had on the uniform. Yeah, he took the oath, but he was not one of us. He was not one of us. I, as a law enforcement officer, he was not one of us.
I ain't got nothing to say. I'm done. When we get quiet, that's when we become dangerous. I ain't got nothing to say because I'm tired. I'm tired of being tired. So, you know, we go through this all the time. Enough is enough. We got to stop this. We got to send a message. So I'm tired of talking. It's time to step this damn thing up. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's 9 minutes to the hour, 9 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. We are broadcasting live on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on Instagram. So we are in the building. We'll be back in studio tomorrow. I will be back from being gone to the beautiful Orlando is beautiful. I've had a great time here in Orlando. Had a lot of great camaraderie. You can like our YouTube channel if you want to go back and see any of our prior podcasts, because we've got quite a few. We've been around now over 6 months, so it's the first 6 has passed by, and we're moving on to the next 6. And on this 24th day of July, we'd like to welcome you to hashtag Truth Be Told. You can also see us if you have Instagram. We are broadcasting live on Instagram. So we do it on different platforms. We're on Instagram, YouTube, we're on Twitter X, and we're on Facebook. You can catch us as we continue to give you what you need. Information, motivation, and inspiration from our perspective. We are here to talk about what needs to be talked about. And we are here not to tell you how to think, but you need to think. We're not going to tell you that you should see it our way, but we're going to give you enough information that you can look it up for yourself and you can begin to formulate your own opinion. And we respect everybody's opinion, even though if you say something we don't like, we're going to call it out. Just like when we say stuff that you don't like, we don't mind if you put it in the chat. Eddie is a prime example. I've got all the respect in the world for Eddie. But sometimes, Eddie, you say things that make me have to respond in a manner that's not very pleasing even to me, because I'm like, wait a minute, can you not see this? And I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just being in a place, in a space to say some things need to be said and some things don't need to be said. At the end of the day, politics is in everything. It's politics in everything you do in life. Either you see it or you don't see it. And the reason why some of us are so ignorant to the political game is we don't believe politics affect us. Politics affects everything. So yeah, I had to bring it up. I had to say what I had to say. And the reason why I had to say what I had to say, because it had to be said. At the end of the day, Vice President Kamala Harris, who is running to be the president of the United States of America, she acknowledged what happened with Miss Massey. That's huge. That's huge. She acknowledged it. On the other side of the aisle, with former President Donald Trump, who's running for the president of the United States of America, he hasn't said one word about Miss Massey. But had Miss Massey been Miss Maybelline, and she had been shot by a black officer in a mostly white community, I bet you the whole scenario would be different. Ring the bell for me, Fatim. Ring the bell. Please ring the bell. And that is the facts. They're the undisputed facts, and I can back it off of what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. how all of a sudden the Republicans and the gun people rallied behind him like he was literally the patron saint of their cause. Brother, I'm calling strikes and balls. And if you don't want to play the game, get your ass off the field.
That's right. And you know what? On the flip side, Fatine and Joe, I actually just saw something on social media. A young lady that I used to supervise here in Newark, she just posted and she's saying, please consider donating to support Javion's family. Javion, a former student at Peshine Avenue School, tragically lost his life when he was shot outside his home in Chesapeake, Virginia. So this young man right here, right, just tragically lost his life on the 22nd. And then when you go to his GoFundMe, it says, it is with heavy hearts we have to announce the passing of our beloved Javion, who tragically left us on July 22nd due to a senseless act of gun violence. Javion was such an amazing kid whose life was taken from him too soon. He was well-mannered, respectful, and had such a bright future. His 16th birthday is just weeks away. This is such a life-changing experience for the whole family. I will post his GoFundMe in the chat, but you can look and you can see he's a sweet kid, right? You could tell he's a good little boy, and about to be 16 years old from Newark, but tragically, gunned down at his home now in Chesapeake, Virginia. Is sad. So this gun violence is crazy. We have, like I said, we have demons amongst us. Some of our little damn kids walking around like little demons. That's why we have to watch what they listen to, watch who their friends are, and put your foot down and say, sorry, you can't be his friend or her friend. You have to be careful, and we have to better parent our children. We have to better parent our children because there are so many kids out there hurting. I got a call last night from a young man who is distraught because he wants to go away to a really good private school here in the city, but his parents are divorced, right? But the dad is remarried now. The dad had an affair on the mom, had a couple kids out of that affair, but now he married that woman. The mom is hurting, the dad is hurting, but most importantly, the children are hurting. And so he's telling me, Miss Jax, I have nobody to talk to about this. I'm so stressed out. My parents can't even communicate and talk to one another without arguing and calling each other names. And all I want to do is go to this good school, but I'm not being given the chance because they can't even talk about anything together. So this little boy is crying out. So my husband and I were counseling him and, letting him know, listen, whatever you do, don't slip, don't slip in experiment with drugs or drinking. And he said, well, my mom's been battling alcoholism for a while. And the mom unfortunately ended up losing custody, and she's a great mom. That's my girl. But she was, battling some alcohol abuse. So now the young man lives with the dad just recently, and he's devastated, and it's a sad, sad situation, And this is such a good young man. I've known him since he was in the first grade, and now he's going into high school. So as parents, we have to do a better job co-parenting. We have to do a better job, in our marriages and just being cautious and cognizant of what we're doing because these kids are impacted. And now you have a little young man gunned down by another teenager that apparently probably couldn't handle his emotions in the way that he should have. It wasn't guided and supported.
And I said before, that we as human beings, we do make choices that are sometimes not the best choices. You have to put the bigger picture and the most important thing in front of you. Sometimes two people as adults come together and make a child or children, and they can't get along. Mm-hmm. Sometimes what causes the breakup can be very, very, very painful. It should not stop you from being the children, dealing with the children. And like I've said, with my late wife Hanifa, and and how long we were together, and a lot of people talk about the positivity of what we represented raising our daughters and this, that, and other. And then we hit a slight bump, but that never stopped us both being parents to those children. Never stopped us for dealing with that situation. Never stopped me from dealing with her health situation. See, that's what I'm saying. If you really care and love somebody, even if they do something that hurts you, you still should. Again, I'm not telling you to accept that, but if it's dealing with children and other health things and you care and love that person or love, you got to deal with this, and sometimes the other person does make it hard to deal because you try to deal with the child. That's why I said when some people, parents, I don't want to sit here and bring women, but most of the times women are they're provided custody more than men are. And then when you hold your child hostage or as a pawn against the other parent because they hurt you, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's about the betterment of the child. And you heard what that child said. I can't talk to my mother or my father about the school situation because they can't communicate without arguing and bickering and calling each other's names. Where do I go to? You understand? And what happens if he doesn't have you, Jax, or someone else to be able to go to? What happens? You understand what I'm saying? And then they lash out because they're dealing with emotion where at the end of the day, we as adults sometimes can't control our emotions. What do you think young people who are not fully developed of controlling their emotions? So we got to learn the same thing. I was quiet now because I just didn't want to say anything that just going to come out that is just not going to be cool. But, we got to take a breath. And sometimes you have to take a breath and you have to take a moment, but you still have to realize what's more important. So what's more important is communication and getting the message out on the show. So I have to contain that anger at the end of the day and hold back. But that's what we all have to do to try to bet for a better world out here, and especially our children, because our children didn't ask to come here. We made them. You understand? So we have a responsibility to be parents to them.
So as I'm looking at the news, and of course I'm getting ready to get up out of here. And we still got an hour's worth of the show left. Of course, we're getting ready to get addressed by our former, by the sitting president of why he's not going to run another term. And that's his choice. Once again, you can't take away that this man didn't give us 8 years as a great vice president and gave us 4 years as a wonderful president. And, at the end of the day, we really politicize too much about woulda, coulda, shouldas, and don't talk about the facts. The facts is, if you really look at them, this is a very strong administration. And this administration has did some things that has brought a great deal of prosperity to the American people. Now, if you're one of the individuals who is not, let's say, partaking in or seeing the results of, maybe it's because that somebody's done Debbie Downered you and propaganded you into believing that you're not doing good. Because I had to really take a audit of myself the last few days, and I realized something. I've actually had some very good years here, especially since President Biden and Vice President Harris has been in office. And if I go back and look at some things and understand, you have to know who controls what. When you talk gas prices, that's not controlled by the president. When you talk about the cost of homes and stuff like that, that's not controlled by the president. So, and while some of y'all are talking about the president and the presidential race, you don't even know who your local councilman is. You don't even know who your local school board member is. You don't even know who your mayor is. You don't even know who your mayor's cabinet is. You don't even know who your mayor appointed. But y'all got the audacity to talk about, I don't think Kamala Harris is intelligent. You're not intelligent if you don't know your local folks. So I'm not cutting corners with people no more. I'm not cutting corners. Like I told you, I have literally went through a transition. I've learned a great deal of Hebrew in the last couple of days, which I was pleasantly surprised in some of my classes that some of this, I was like, wow, there's a lot of Hebrew, and one of my professors is a Hebrew, a for real Hebrew, not a play Hebrew. And
I gotta correct you, Joe. I'm sorry. He's not a Hebrew. He's not a Hebrew. He's not a Hebrew. That's a language, bro. That's a language. It's like saying a person that speaks Arabic is Arabic. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So but the brother's about his business, and he really enlightened me on a lot of things. And I'm on a path now of understanding that you can't cut corners, nor am I going to cut corners. So and first of all, we got to stop letting folks keep on bringing up people's past. You got to tell people stop bringing up your past. what happened. I'm not going to let what happened yesterday disturb my today. It happened. It's done with. I said my piece on it, and I'm keeping it moving. You know, that some folks had the mitigated gall and audacity, especially some folks that are here in this chat. You know, when the memes came out about Donald Trump, oh, there were people. I can go back and read you the chat, how they were in an uproar. How could these people try to make memes and things? Ain't said one thing about these memes and things they doing out there with Kamala, with Vice President Harris. That's the sister. That could be your mama. How would you? Okay, black men. Since some of these black men in here are so on the Trump train, how would you feel if that was your black mama they were making all these memes on? How would you feel if that was your black daughter? You'd be ready to fight somebody right now. But for some odd reason, if it ain't yours, you ain't paying no attention to it. And then you got the audacity to say, "Oh, well, I don't trust President. I don't rock with President Kamala Harris either." I can get that if that's not your political views, but that doesn't mean you have to defame her. That doesn't mean you have to put memes and things out there making her look like the Joker and stuff. Come on. Come on. Hold on. Somebody said that woman is not my sister. Really, Gidry? Really, Gidry? Is this where we're going to go?
No. I need you to put his other comment because I want Jax, I want you to follow this. Put his other comment up there, Joe.
Which one?
Just
the Democrat?
That.
And real quick, for a point of clarity, so Hebrew, like Joe was saying, and like you're saying, it is a language, but it's also considered a people. It's from the descendants of Abraham. So, and it's Hebrew is also synonymous with the term Israelites. So it is a language, but it's
synonymous. It's synonymous with. It's synonymous, but it's not. We'll say that for another.
We'll say that for another comment. We'll say that. I'm just going. Right. So look, here's the comment. Here's the comment. Read it for me.
So the Democrats have never picked someone as radical as Kamala. I'm shocked and a Marxist. So, you know, Sister Jax, you know, I can't label you as a radical. I don't know if you consider yourself a radical. I think that you have some radical points of view. Mm-hmm. I think that you stand there. I think Joe, as even though he's a moderate, he has some radical points of view.
I do.
Let me just say this. Douglas Guidry, who the hell are you saying for what America, what white folks have done to black folks in this country? It's about time we elect a radical. First of all, Kamala's not a radical. Yeah. You understand? She's not a radical, you know, but she says what needs to be said. You understand? That's why a lot of people felt that she was silenced by this administration, because when she was a senator, you heard more. You hear more from Congresswoman Crockett. You heard Maxine Waters. To our late sister in prayers and condolences continue to go out to her family, the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. You know why we're radicals? Because the white man and woman has kept their damn foot on our neck for so long in this country. So, excuse me. So if we do elect a radical, so be it. So be it if we elect a Malcolm X. You understand? Dr. King was a radical. Yeah. You don't even understand that Dr. King was a radical. You read his writings and listen to his speeches. He was a radical. He just used words that a lot of you, it went over your damn head. He was a radical. So don't come and tell us if Kamala, even though a lot of us don't look at her as being a radical, but even if she is, so what? So be it. We have elected racists that have walked in that White House. So what the hell would you say? It's amazing that you could come at a black woman, but you can't come at a racist, a convicted felon like Donald Trump, but you want to call Kamala a radical. I told you, let me just finish it. Like I told y'all, I'm not holding no prisoners when you throw out this bullshit. This is BS. And I told you, come at our sister if you want to. Now come in after your juggler.
Yeah. Well, and you know, we have to understand that the opposite of a radical is actually, you know, defined as a moderate, you know, a conservative, reactionary, right? So when you're a radical, you have to not be afraid to shake ish up. You got to shake it up. You have to walk away from the norm. You have to stand on what you believe on, and it's what you believe in. And it's not all about reacting, right? It's all about seeing what needs to be done and making something happen, not just reacting because something already happened. It's about really taking the next steps to really put stuff down and implement things and put it in place, not just because somebody else did it to you, but because it needs to be done. So we have to really understand the definitions of some of these words, and to not be, it's nothing wrong with being a radical. If you're going to stand, a radical is somebody that's going to stand up for what they believe in, and they're going to fight their asses off until it's achieved. Not somebody that just sits there and is passive and just lets it happen. And, oh, you hit me, so I'm just going to hit you back. No, they really get down in the trenches and push forward with action. So, it's not wrong with it. And absolutely, we all, on this panel for sure, we're all radicals in a certain degree.
Right.
Some people might think my beliefs in following the Most High is radical. But guess what?
Right.
If that's what I believe, that's what I'm walking on. And I don't give a damn what anybody thinks or says, family, friends, kids. I don't give a damn. I'm following God to the best of my understanding of his word. And nobody can shake me from that. Nobody on this earth can shake me from that.
And that is beautiful. And you got to stand 10 toes down on what you believe in. I'm looking right now, and even though we have a Secret Service director who has resigned, I am looking now at some news where they're saying, guess what? See, this lets me know the plot of the propaganda machine.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he has been advised, former President Trump, that after this assassination attempt, it might not be wise to continue to have these outdoor rallies. We might need to make it into an indoor venue type thing where it can be more controlled by those who have the security of the president. That man said no. Because at the end of the day, he has a base of folks that he wants to rile up. A, he wants folks to think that he's bulletproof. B, he wants folks to make it feel like if something does happen to him, all of a sudden he'll be a martyr. And and then I look at some of these comments in the chat. First of all, let me say this. I don't know what Brother Malcolm would say, because Brother Malcolm's not here to say it. So, people put statements out there like, Brother Eddie, you put a statement out there about how Brother Malcolm would be disappointed how blacks are tethered to the Democratic Party. I don't know what the Democratic Party has done to you personally, but whatever it has done, please ask them to say they're sorry, and please you have some level of forgiveness. Because I feel in my spirit sometimes that you have such a disdain for the Democratic Party. And guess what? I put it like this. Republicans, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, and the Independent Party are all in cahoots with each other.
Mm-hmm.
The team says it best. One's robbing the bank, the other one's driving the getaway car, and the other one's the lookout. Mm-hmm. So I can't just be mad at one party. I'm not happy with a lot of decisions the Democratic Party has made. I am not happy with a lot of decisions the Republican Party has made. I am not happy with a lot of decisions independent people make that are in the Independent Party. I understand this. People are doing what they choose to do, what they feel is best for them and theirs. And if their ideology and what they're doing doesn't line up with me, probably what they're doing will either adversely affect me or put them in a better position than I'm in. I respect that. At the end of the day, that's why I say people need to put folk in office that make policies. Policies. I keep talking to y'all about the P word, which ain't people, which ain't party, which is policies. Because those policies ultimately affect you. And so many times you waving the banner of a political party who literally put policies out there that is destroying your family, destroying your health, destroying everything you believe in. But because they sprinkled the propaganda machine and told you they love Jesus, white Jesus that is, all of a sudden you gonna wave the banner and say, that's the party for me. That's the party for me. That's the party for me. Y'all sound like Sambo.
That's right.
Yeah. Let me just say this real quick. So Jax and Joe, we will have this offline comment, but looking up the meaning of something that we were talking about. Wait. Hold on. Let me just say this. So looking up a meaning of something, I found one thing, but I said, no, don't go there. Go to the etymology. So I went to the etymology of it. So I'm not waiting to come back tomorrow and to say, so the point that Joe was right and Jax were right. So I don't want to come back tomorrow and say we had this conversation offline, because I want to just say, I always say that I will correct myself if I'm wrong. I don't need to wait till tomorrow. I don't need to debate them on this. You understand what I'm saying? So they are right. So I just want to say that. But the point I wanted to make is that I got to give those folks in the comments, because we have not really read a lot of comments. We tend to pick Douglas Guidry and Eddie Bonnet comments, but there's a lot of comments out there from Regina Hill, from Rhonda Hairston and KC. And I told KC the other day that she be out there waging war on some of those folks in the comments. And I think it's worth saying that Willie Pickens and as well is they out there defending a lot of things that we're saying on the show. And sometimes we don't get to your comments. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge you. I really want to thank the folk to acknowledge you all out there for the job that you are doing in the comments, that you are standing up and talking truth to power. So thank you all. And if I missed your name, because there's a lot of people in the comments, I apologize. But I just wanted to name a few people out there because we do notice you out there waging war and standing 10 toes down, as Joe and Sister Jack say, on principle. So thank you all out there that are in the comments. I had to acknowledge.
Ring the bell, Brother Fatim. Ring the bell. So it is 15 minutes past the hour. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. We are today broadcasting live on Facebook Live. We are on YouTube. We are also on Instagram. So look, make sure that you click like and share, and you follow us. Follow Brother Fatim on his Facebook page and on his social media page. I know Brother Fatim is on Facebook and he's on Instagram. Follow Sister Jax on Facebook and on Instagram on her personal pages, because that sister out there doing great things. And of course, you know me, I'm all over the place. You know, right now I'm broadcasting from sunny Orlando, Florida. It ain't gonna be sunny long. They got a chance of rain, and that's why I'm trying to get out of here before the rain hits. But we'll be live back in studio tomorrow. Hopefully. We may be still broadcasting live from Orlando, but I believe that tomorrow we will be back live in studio so we can take some of your phone calls. We enjoy your comments. Continue the comments to roll. I like to say big ups to Jules Wall, to Miss Hall out there, to KC, to Willie Pickens, just to name a few, to Rhonda Hairston, who's always on here. Big ups to Douglas Guidry and to Eddie Barnett, always in the chat. And it's good to have somebody in the chat that doesn't agree with everything you're saying. I believe they probably only agree with probably 10% of half the stuff I put out there. But I'm glad that they're in the chat, because guess what? Sometimes you got to hear it from the other person's point of view to invoke the thought line that maybe you might not be right. Like I said, we're not here to tell you how to think. We're here to tell you to think. Big up to Regina Hill that's in the chat. Marcus Allen, attorney at law, great attorney. If you ever need an attorney and you're in the in Southwest and South Louisiana, I highly recommend Marcus. I see a lot of folks in there. Dre Watson is another one. Hey, thank you. And as I still got my other program pulled up, I can see people logged in from everywhere. So big ups to Los Angeles, big ups to Houston, Texas, logged in, big ups to Detroit, Michigan, big ups to Chicago, Illinois, to Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville, Tennessee, I see you. Miami, Florida, I see you. North and South Carolina, I see you. Virginia Beach, Virginia, I see you. Washington, D.C., I see you. Rhode Island, I see you. Also, hey, we got people in Boston, Mass, I see you. Listen, we got people all over the world, Okinawa, Japan, Frankfurt, Germany, Paris, France. Speaking about Paris, listen, talk about some pride in your country. The Olympics is coming. And I think it's going to be a great Olympiad this year. So, you know, get ready for that. We'll be talking that and much, much more. But the struggle continues. The struggle continues. And the fight for equality and inclusiveness continues. We are not free until everybody's free. We can't just take care of us and ours and then let the other folk out there have to fight and struggle. No, we are not free until everybody's free. And the fight and the struggle continues until we are all free and we are all looked at as equals. I can see the floor.
That's right. And you know, Joe, thank you so much. Great words. And you're right. Thank you so much to everybody that tunes in. And, you know, it's so amazing because the days we're not on, I get texts, I get messages, I get phone calls. Hey, you're not on today. You know, so thank you for those that really look forward to it because it means a lot to us. You know, we sacrifice other things that we have to do to wake up early and make sure we're live and prepared to have great, genuine, positive, healthy, informative conversation. And we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. Continue to like, share, follow. I put in our chat a couple of times our YouTube page. So some people that do not have Facebook, I found that definitely only can get on from YouTube, especially some of our older people. They don't, they're not on social media like that. But at least if you send them a YouTube link to the show, they can actually tap on it, click, and watch it from their old school Boost Mobile or whatever type of phone they may have, Consumer Cellular, whatever, they can watch it. And so they can gain some information, because guess what? You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to change your mindset. And many times when we have low emotional intelligence, we have a fixed mindset. We become very rigid in our thinking and cannot take any new information and cannot think outside of the box. So this platform is amazing and wonderful. And we're trying to give you the opportunity to start to think outside the box and realize some of the ways I've always thought were not quite right. And many times we already know, we have a little spirit within us that says, you know what, I'm doing this, but I don't quite feel comfortable doing it. And something's not quite right, but I just don't know what to do next. We're trying to give you ideas and things of what you can do next to make your life even better for today and beyond, for yourself, your children, your family, and just for your household, even if it's a single person household. You're not left out. You're not alone. We love you. We appreciate you. So thank you for continuing to tune in and to grow and learn, because we learn from you guys as well. So any topics you guys ever have, feel free to pop it in the chat and we can discuss it. Feel free to send an email, or like you said, Joe gave all our social media platforms. My Instagram is Skills for the Soul. So you can always hop on there, DM me on Facebook, and let us know if there's something you want us to discuss or talk about. Or if you have something special going on in your life, a great achievement, we would love to highlight it in the chat. So thank you so much.
I'm glad you said that. Listen, if today is your birthday, your anniversary, I haven't said that in a minute. If today, because I'm not in studio, I can't ring the bell. If today is your birthday, your anniversary, or your special day, or whatever you call the day, and regardless if you celebrate it or not celebrate it, we do recognize that this day may carry something in your special place. We want to tell you, enjoy this day, celebrate this day, and make this day greater than it was yesterday. Go ahead, Brother Fatim. Speak on it, baby. Talk to me now. Talk to me.
And if it's
I'm gonna beat Eddie up. I beat folks, Eddie.
Yeah, and if it's a moment that brings back some type of sadness, if you lost a loved one on a day like today or whatever, we take the moment, to stand with you and to pray with you and to acknowledge you that sometimes, as it could be a joyous moment, but you got to realize that there are anniversaries that are not always as joyous. We take the moment to acknowledge that as well. Okay. We love you all.
Right. And we have to, as a people, stop waiting for special moments to do special things, right? I mean, too often we wait, or I'm gonna wait till my birthday, or I'm gonna wait until, this holiday to tell somebody I'm thankful or that I love them. Do it on a regular basis. If it's somebody you love, call them after this show, or if you got it, if it's on your spirit right now, call them right now, because life is short. But call them, tell them that you love them, tell them you miss them, tell them that you're sorry. Tell them that you apologize for any, ills or any contention or anything you ever did to them or hurt them in any way. That wasn't, your goal or your purpose at that time. And even if it was your goal or your purpose or intent to hurt somebody, still humble yourself enough to tell them, look, I was wrong. It's okay, especially for us women. Sometimes for us women, it's harder for us to say, my bad, I was wrong. Men do that a little bit easier than us, but we have to work on that humility. Shoot, if you want to wear your fancy jewelry, your diamonds, whatever you might have, your nice earrings, put it on today. Don't wait until a special occasion. If you want to drink out of your crystal glasses that are up in the china cabinet or, somewhere special, drink out of it today. Drink your little Minute Maid juice, your fruit punch, whatever it is, drink it out of it today. Don't wait until what you deem a special day or holiday to utilize the beautiful things that you have in life, because guess what? When we die, we can't take it with us. So embrace what you have and be thankful for what you have and appreciate every second of every day, because literally we could log off this show and drop dead of a heart attack by the time we hit power off. That fast.
So watch this. It's 24 minutes past the hour. We may end this show about 15 minutes early today because I have to check out at this hotel and make my way over to the host hotel. And let me say this, because some folks been like, well, where Joe been? What Joe up to? I am working on a better me. I have been blessed, and Brother Fatim and I belong to an organization which some folks call it a progressive science, a science that encompasses a great deal of different philosophies. I have sit at the feet of some great teachers. I am a student of a student of a student of a student. And I am constantly learning to make myself a better me. And I am thankful that these last few days I have realized that I ain't as smart as I thought I was. The Black Hebrew brother broke that down to me in a 4-hour class when he handed me back my paper and said, "Sir, you failed." And he said, "You need to better prioritize your life." Because he said, "I don't think you're incapable of the answers. I think that you got so much on your plate that you didn't study well enough to give the proper answer." Because he said a partial answer is not the proper answer. Man, when I actually told his brother, I got to sit at your feet a little bit. And he gave me his number, and I will. I'll sit at his feet a lot. Because too many times we give a partial answer, which is not the proper answer. And he told me, unfortunately, I can't let you slide. Either you gave the right answer or you gave the wrong answer. But a partial answer is not the right answer. Seek the whole truth, nothing but the truth, not just a part of the truth that makes you look a certain way. Because he said at the end of the day, when you don't put the whole thing on the table, you really live in a lie. So I say that to my brothers and sisters as I begin, because you probably saying, "Ooh, Joe sounded a little different. He coming a little differently." I'm starting to wake up and see some things.
Amen.
And I want to first hold myself accountable for what I do in this remainder part of my life and what I leave behind for not only myself, but for my family to continue to build on, because we all have foundations. And understand, it ain't about you. I'm at the point in my life, it ain't about me. It's about my grandson. It's about his children. It's about his children's children. And if they don't have a firm foundation to build on, they destined for doom. Because guess what? You only gonna be half the time what you see or what has already been built for you to start building from. That's why you got to get some life insurance. That's why you got to be so unselfish with yourself to say, I've got to give somebody something that I'll never partake of, that they can have a better life than me should my untimely death occur. But we don't do that as Black and brown folks. It's not that we're not intelligent. I believe Black and brown folks are some of the smartest people on this planet. It's the point that we don't have no vision. And if you can't see past the next hour, your intelligence right now doesn't mean nothing, because if you squander everything today and you don't see tomorrow coming, you don't even have the resources to begin to build what you need to build to get what you need to get. We got to wake up and we got to stop hating each other. So many of y'all are just mad at each other. Y'all are mad. And I can tell you're mad. I saw it with my own eyes yesterday. I saw 3 brothers open up a door for a very good looking non-melanated woman. I mean, they ran to open up that door, while a elderly woman on kind of like a walker, after they opened the door for her and kind of tried to pursue her, I watched the elder. I had to run literally from the 2nd floor to come down the escalator to open up the door for the elderly woman. And then I asked her, "Ma'am, do you need help with anything you have?" It ceases to amaze me how we will quickly jump to the aid of non-melanated folks as if we owe them something. It makes me feel like we belong to the Motisa tribe. Motisa, sir, are you okay, sir? Is everything all right, sir? Is everything all right, sir? But when it comes down to our own folk, we doing this number. Man, I ain't got time for you. Do it yourself. Get it yourself. But other folks, y'all opening doors. How you doing today, sir? Everything fine, sir? You ain't feeling good, sir? What can I do to get you something, sir? Come on, y'all. Wake up.
Let me
Stop
just say
hating
this.
yourself.
Let me just say this to Joe, and I want to read something, but let me just say that Joe is 200% correct, because we were together. It was me, Joe, and his lovely wife, and I call her Sister D. We were in the mall, and I say in New Orleans, but where we were, and there was an elderly woman that was walking. So Joe saw it, and I saw her too, but Joe was ahead of me. So Joe held the door open, Black elderly woman. And then the conversation, because she had a shirt on that Joe commented on, and they had a conversation. And then Joe said, well, my other brother get the door. I already had the door. And Joe is right. You understand what I'm saying? We both noticed this. We didn't, we caught up in our conversation, this, that, and other, but we still noticed our surroundings. Soon as Joe saw it, and since he was ahead of me, he held the door for the sister. They had a conversation. Then I held the second door for the sister. So Joe was speaking about what's right, but it's amazing. And I've given the story, and I'm not going to give the story no more about where I used to get in the elevator. And the black man that worked at JP Morgan Chase on Park Avenue in New York City. And he would get on the elevator and not speak to no black people. But soon as a white person brought their ass in there, hey, how you doing? This, that, and the other. So like I said, I called his ass out one day. I embarrassed him on that damn elevator. I said, man, it seems like you hate yourself. You hate black people. Oh, why do you say that, my brother? Well, I said, first of all, I'm not your brother, because if I was your brother, you would have spoke to me every time you get on this elevator. This ain't the first time I'm seeing you get on this elevator. You look me in my face and other black people and turn your ass around and look at the door. But as soon as a white person gets on here, you kissing their ass. I said that to him in that elevator with black and white people. And I didn't know the black people were going to clap when that door opened and he walked his ass off. I didn't do it for claps. I just told him like it is. That's who I am. But that's how some of us are. Joe and Jax, Eddie Bonnet wrote, don't say that if you push, this is basically to you, Joe. Don't say that if you push people to think outside the box, they will probably leave the Democratic Party. I'm a witness. There's a lot of people that think and get upset with Democratic and the Republican Party. There's a lot of people that left both parties and became independent. You understand? So what I did is I did a little quick research, and I was asking about legislation. Who has passed more legislation to support the American people, the Democrats or the Republicans? And I got back some information. So real quick, historically, Democrats have been associated with significant social and economic reforms, including the New Deal under Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which introduced Social Security and various labor protections. The Great Society programs under Lyndon B. Johnson, expanding civil rights, Medicare, and Medicaid. In recent years, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, under Barack Obama, aimed to expand health care coverage. If you look at all of those things that the Democrats do, I'm coming to the Republicans, don't think I'm not going to do that, is that all of this has benefited the masses of people. Republicans often focus on tax cuts, deregulation, and policies aimed at promoting business and economic growth. Examples include the Reagan tax cuts and the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act under Donald Trump. They have also emphasized national defense and conservative social policies. Recent legislative efforts, the American Rescue Plan in 2021, this is by the Democrats, aimed to provide economic relief during the COVID-19 pandemic. Y'all want to give Trump that credit. It was the Democrats that passed that. Trump doesn't pass laws. That passed legislation. He signed it because he was the president. Infrastructure investment in jobs. That's the act in 2021 aimed at modernizing infrastructure in America. Republicans, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act 2017 aimed at reducing taxes for individuals and businesses. Efforts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. Efforts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. They wanted to repeal and replace, but they had no plan of what to replace it with. Okay, so the whole elevation, basically many significant pieces of legislation have had support from both parties, making it challenging to attribute them to one party alone. Because at the end of the day, we are a bipartisan type kind of country. So for us to work together, we need bipartisanship. Sometimes the House and the Senate may tilt a little bit more one side, Democrat or Republican. If they can do that and get all their members, that's how they pass legislation. But if you look at this legislation from the Democrats and the Republican, they both have ideologies. And from my point of view, and I read it, you make your own conclusion. Most of the ideologies of the Democrats is about the people. You understand? And when you look at the Republicans, when it comes down to tax cuts and this, that, and the other, that don't trickle down to the low man. It's usually the people that are at top, that making billions of dollars or millions of dollars, and they get the tax breaks while we have to brunt the support. And when I say we, it's the middle and the lower class.
You know, Jeremy James Chevalier, I hope I'm saying your last name correct, sir. Made it clear, you know, we need our own, we need a do right part. I've been saying about this, but the reason, and you're right, Jack said it and Brother Fatim said, the reason we're not having a do right party is people aren't do right people. See, you can only have what it comes from. As long as people are flawed and full of sin and have different things that ain't good, you know, you're never going to have a perfect. See, y'all don't want to do, listen, let me rephrase that. My two co-hosts said we'll never have a do-right party. I think we can. So I just, a thought just hit my spirit. We'll never have a do perfect party because there's no perfect people, but we can have a do right party because people can do right, just like people do wrong. That is a choice. So we can choose to have people to say, let's put policies in that helps the greater good of everybody, not just a few. See, at the end of the day, you got to understand most of these policies that are in place only help the folks that they were invented to help. And that's not always black and brown folks. That's not all the people. Some policies are literally made just for the rich. If you're poor, that policy doesn't affect you. That policy hurts you more than it makes you have a good day. Understand, we need people who says, how can we be more humanistic that everybody gets their fair share and shake of the pie? If they say faith without works is dead, that's the Bible. The Bible say faith without works is dead. So in other words, whatever you do, you're gonna have to put some work in it. And too many times we done got to this society. I don't want to work for it. Just give it to me. No, you got to work to get something, because even in faith without, you can believe God all you want to. You can read the Bible all you want to. You can have the biggest faith in the world. But if you don't put your faith to work, if you don't go out there and start doing something that lines up with this word that you done read, ain't nothing going to come. Listen, I can give you, hold on. I'm going to say this and I'm going to concede the floor. 37 minutes after the hour. I can give you 1,000 acres of land. But if you never do nothing with it, I can come back 20 years after I gave you 1,000 acres of land. And if you do nothing with it in 20 years, that 1,000 acres of land will be grown, wilderness, be looking a shamble, won't have no productivity on it. You can't reap what you don't sow.
That's
and
right.
if you ain't, and once you sow, you got to work. You can't just sow it. You can't just drop the seed. You got to make sure the weeds, you got to take care of what was given to you. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
And you know, Joe, that's beautiful. And I definitely already see a shift in your spirit, a shift in your thinking. And congrats on all the amazing things you've been accomplishing. You know, and it didn't just happen overnight. You've been putting in the work. You've done some amazing things. So my brother, I'm super duper proud of you. And I don't even know all the stuff that's going on, but I know some. But, you know, kudos to you, and may God continue to guide you, hold your hand as you're on this journey of enlightenment and growth and self-determination, because we know that the community will benefit tremendously. And that little Jay Quest, he's definitely going to have a wise, wisdom-filled Papa Joe, you know, that he could sit at your feet and glean knowledge and learn and just absorb it. So you're already, what you're doing, Joe, is changing generations to come. So I just commend you and I thank you. And also to you, Brother Fatim, you are so full of knowledge and wisdom. I appreciate you. I love you too. And I just love this journey that we're all on, trying to do better and be the best version of ourselves, despite what anybody else thinks. A lot of what we do, 99% of what we do is for us, but we know in turn it will benefit others. And we're trying to please the Most High in whatever way we can. So
and let me just say this. Thank you, Sister Jackson. And I said what I said, and I agree with what you just said. And I ditto what you just said about Joe. And thank you for those kind words. And, you know, we started off with 2 males and 2 females on the show. And now we are what we are at this moment. And, you know, we want to make sure that we had a strong feminine voice on this broadcast, because it's so important. So it wasn't about an imbalance. It just worked out to be this way. But I am so glad that we have a strong sister like you that is part of this broadcast, and what you bring to the table is enlightening. And at times I realized, you know, we've been running our mouth as males. Let's let the wise one speak as well as the sister, because you bring that balance. And we were talking about last night on the Tangy Tea about masculine and feminine energy. And I learned something out of that last night about masculine and feminine energy versus gender. Masculine and feminine energy, it has nothing to do with male and female gender. Yeah. And I learned something out of that. And I said to myself, it's amazing that on this show, we have masculine and feminine energy. When you tap into that and understand it, not just say it, I talk about the yin and the yang and the energy, then you'll start to understand people. And you have the questions that you have about certain people, why they do this, different things. You have a better understanding when you understand masculine and feminine energy.
That's
have
right.
that here on this show at times.
Yeah, right. And thank you so much. You know, it's so funny to hear that because it makes me think of a conversation I had with Casey yesterday. You know, my daughter and I were out shopping and we bumped into each other in the store. I was actually at the register returning some stuff, and I look up and Casey come creeping in the store. Oh, that surprised me. Her and her daughter, beautiful daughter, Asia, my baby. And Keisha and I, we were just, as we were walking around shopping together and, you know, talking junk like we always do. We were like two 12-year-olds shopping instead of two grown-ass old handicapped, damn near handicapped women. And we were talking about that masculine, feminine energy and how we both strive to be more feminine because we grew up in such a masculine state for different reasons, but we still grew up very masculine, you know, between, you know, what she endured in her household and some of that trauma. And then same with me and growing up with my brothers and you know, my dad, my mom was always there. But I still was just always up underneath my brothers for the most part. And, you know, I was, you know, close with my dad. My mom was more like the disciplinarian. But for whatever reason, I guess daughters are just, you know, closer to their dads in some ways, even when things weren't right. But I just had that masculine, you know, if you could throw a ball, I'm gonna throw a ball harder. If you could play basketball, I could play basketball better than you know, so that was just us. So now as we're growing up, we're trying to refine and become more ladylike. And also in marriage, that's very important. You know, if my husband wanted a dude, he would have married a dude, you know what I'm saying? But he wanted a woman, a feminine, beautiful woman. And he always says, baby, I know that this is divine and God made you specifically for me. And I feel that with every fiber of my being, that the Most High, when he made me, he made me exactly my husband, you know,
yeah,
so.
He winning.
You know,
your husband winning. He winning.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. So I know
he better acknowledge that.
He does. Listen,
you know, it's funny. He even called me right before the show and said, "Baby, I just want to tell you how much I love you. I'm so glad to have you as my wife, and you know, I want you to have a great show. And I just love you with all my heart. I love you so much, baby. I love you so much." And so, yeah, he definitely tells anybody I meet, they say, "Oh my God, your husband talks about you all day long." You know, so.
And I like to say this about you, Jax. You know, you complimented myself and Fatine, and I am going through a change, a metamorphosis, and evolution. You know, I learned about Ezra this weekend, and I learned about certain things with the tribes and how the encampments were set up, and I was completely blown away. You know, I was blown away by the most wisest man that the Bible says walked this earth. Now, the wisest man was King Solomon, and it amazes me, even in his building of that temple, that you have to understand. He could ask God for so much, but he asked God for wisdom and how to use that wisdom to guide his people. Amen. So, you know, some of us chasing money and we chasing things, but when this guy had the opportunity to ask the Creator, who had everything in his possessions to give him, he didn't ask him for rubies, for gold. He didn't ask him for trinkets. He didn't ask him for land. He just said, "Man, give me the wisdom.
Yes.
If you give me the wisdom, I can handle everything else." And the understanding on how to divvy out this wisdom that my people listen. He didn't ask for the wisdom for himself. He asked it for the betterment of his people. We have to be selfless with self, that what we receive is for the betterment of those around us. And that is where you begin to get into this space where you realize who you really are. You know, I heard about chakras this weekend, something that I've heard Brother Fatine talk about. And I was completely in classes emerged in such beauty that was just wonderful, that made me understand our people.
Mhm.
Many a times we don't understand our people because we ourselves don't know our people. I was with my people and they were intelligent, they were beautiful, they were I talked to a mathematician that there wasn't a thing an equation I couldn't throw out there that he couldn't resolve. Man, we listen, this bone in the nose, and listen, y'all got one more time. This goes to all my non-melanated friends. Y'all got one more time to post the wrestler Kamala on your timeline.
Mm.
You ain't got to unfriend me. I'm going to unfriend you.
Mm.
That's not funny. And I'm not la ha ha kikiing with you. So we've got to stand on business principle and for what's right for the greater good of us as a people. It is 15 minutes past the hour. I hate to do this to my family, but this is the only way we're going to be able to get this show tomorrow. Tomorrow is Turn Up Thursday, Turn Down for What? I hope to be back home, but in case I'm not back home, we're going to be back in Orlando doing it again. So look, I hate to close the show off 15 minutes early, but I got to for a reason. Can I get some closing remarks from you, Sister Jax? Give it to me.
Yes, my closing remarks for today. I want everybody, if you guys get a chance, and if you know, you can read Proverbs 29, right? Proverbs 29 sums up the whole Sonia Massey situation. It talks about, you know, rulership and even the presidency and what's going on with that. It talks about what's going on with Joe and with all of us. So I'm just going to read you a quick bit of it, if I may. So Proverbs 29, he that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance. The king by judgment establisheth the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthroweth it. A man that flattereth his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet. In the transgression of an evil man, there is a snare, but the righteous doth sing and rejoice. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. Scornful men bring a city into a snare, but wise men turn away wrath. If a wise man contendeth with a foolish man, whether he rage or laugh, there is no rest. The bloodthirsty hate the upright, but the just seek his soul. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. The poor and the deceitful man meet together. The Lord lighteneth both their eyes. The king that faithfully judgeth the poor, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give delight unto thy soul. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. So as you go forth on your day, guys, if you can go back and read the full Proverbs 29 and the whole book, just give yourself a few minutes. It'll take you 10 minutes. Just know, if nobody told you today they love you, just know Jax loves you. I wish you all the best. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, Lord's will. Be safe, be blessed, and be amazing out there and do something that you've never done before. Peace out. See y'all tomorrow.
Brother Fatim.
Yeah, tremendous words, Jackson. Thanks, because a lot of times we don't hear on a daily basis somebody says that, they love you. So we know that if someone doesn't say that to us, we get it from you, my sister. Great word. So thank you for tuning in to another enlightening episode of Truth Be Told. As we wrap up this Wednesday's discussion, remember that knowledge is power and the truth will always light the path to a brighter future. Stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay true to yourself and your community. Until next time, keep seeking the truth and making your voice heard. Peace and blessings. I'm out.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, be better today, family, than you were yesterday. Do something today that in some shape, form, or fashion can be a blessing to someone that they have no earthly way that they can pay you back. And always remember that there is no secret, absolutely no secret what God can do, what he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. We'll be back tomorrow. It will be Turn Up Thursday, Turn Down for What? You have a blessed and wonderful day. We'll catch you on the other side. Peace.